Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the StuG III Ausf. It's a tier 5 German tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of mines, and this one is under the command of BertholomaeusRexodus44x2 of the TLG clan. Now, he's got 3 marks of excellence, and that should tell you something about the amount of times he's played this vehicle, and effectively too. The main armament, 75mm. You can see it's capable with the standard shells of doing 135 alpha, 150mm per pen. And with the premium rounds, the APCR, it will do 135 but 194mm per pen. He's taken up position to shoot the enemy tanks going onto the hill. Now, it's got a fairly fast reload as well. Enemy tanks, well, he got a hit with the first one, but a couple of others went in just afterwards, so he didn't manage to get any damage off them. Standard reload, 4.31 seconds. We can see Bartholomaeus has got 3.56. Okay, from here he should be able to assault quite a few of the enemy tanks in there. Now, the StuG, the history. Well, it all goes back to a letter from Erich von Manstein, General Erich von Manstein, that he wrote to General Beck in 1935. What he wanted was an assault tank that was actually capable of destroying bunkers and the like, that basically wasn't a proper tank, so to speak. Well, Manstein asked for that vehicle, but he didn't get it delivered for quite some time. They started manufacturing them in 1940, and they did see combat during the fall of France, but it's basically a Panzer III without the turret, and it's been modified. When they actually showed it to the Panzer Corps and then the infantry, neither of them wanted it. They rejected it. They didn't want this vehicle, so instead the Waffenamts, actually, I think it was Waffenamts, or was it the ministry actually in charge of munitions production, actually offered it to the artillery. And in fact, actually, the crews were all artillerymen. Yes, they were wearing artillery uniforms, and they were very well trained crew, incredibly well trained. And as a consequence, the StuG started racking up huge numbers of enemy kills. 20,000 vehicles during the Second World War were actually destroyed by StuGs. And they manufactured 9,346 of them in total as well, which made it one of the most mass-produced vehicles by the Germans during the war. Now, seeing as it was actually using the Panzer III hull, it was very simple to actually manufacture. Ooh, that T6 medium's managed to get very, very close. And yeah, he's getting rounds into him now. And yeah, he gets another one in, but we did take a hit in the engine bay. And here he is. And he's gone. The kill actually went to our StuG IV. Was it FUM? Sorry, it's FUM. What am I saying? No, it is Fear. Okay. Getting back into my commentary, they were actually very effective, mainly down to the fact that they were not only simple to make, but they actually had a decent casement, which means the crew could operate comfortably. It didn't have much of an arc, only 15 degrees either side of the center line, so the driver needed to be very alert to be able to move the vehicle to get the enemy within that 30-degree arc. But once they were within that 30-degree arc, they were very effective. And you've got to remember, oh, that was a good shot. You've got to remember that these guys were firing at some distance, so an arc of 30 degrees means that when they were firing at, say, a mile or so away, then that's a big arc, so they didn't have to move the vehicle much. And it didn't stand up very high as well, because the turret, when you take the turret off a Panzer III, there's it's much less tall. It's much less tall. It's less higher. It's shorter. That's better. It's shorter than your average tank, and so it didn't stand out as much. And that's also something that benefited the Hetzers when they came out, because they were so small they would hide underneath the hedgerows. Well, he got a tracking shot into that Valentine anti-tank. Now he just needs to aim for the gun shield. Oh, in fact, he just aimed for the hull. The only problem with, of course, fixed guns like this is that if they get tracked, they can't move the hull to actually aim at a new arc. So if they're tracked and the enemy gets behind them, they're dead meat. But if you know how to rack up the fire on the enemy, keep pumping those rounds out, and keep the enemy far enough away that they can't track you, then you can do a lot of damage. Okay, enemy's been spotted up on top of the hill, and it's the StuG III Ausf. Oh! The Hetzer managed to get a dirt round into Bartholomeus, and he's been taken out. So what happens now is what the rest of his team managed to do. There's only 4 left on his team and 5 on the enemy team, but they should be able to pull this off. The MXLC is also in platoon with him. Needs to watch out. There's a nice little slot here you can hide in. They seem to have done this with a lot of the maps, where they'll leave a little spot like this with a little alcove where the tank can go in and hide and cannot be removed except by Arty. Arty might be able to get around in there, but I doubt many tanks would be able to get around in there unless they can go around the corner. Rather unfortunate that he went down so quickly, but then you've got to watch out the positions you take. Sometimes they can be so far advanced to keep the fire rate up that the enemy does spot you, and then you get taken out by somebody you didn't anticipate. He only got 2 kills in the game, but he racked up 2,500 hit points of damage. The only unfortunate thing about this game was that he was actually using APCR throughout. He didn't carry any AP into the game. Now, it does have a good firepower, the StuG III. It also has accurate gun, good camo, good frontal armor. It has a low view range, which is poor. It's only got 310 meters, which is another reason why you might have to take a forward position to actually spot the enemy. Bad reverse speed actually as well, only 10 kilometers an hour, so it takes forever to actually back up. That's why sometimes it can be more advisable to drive forward and get to the top speed of 40 kilometers an hour as quickly as possible, so you can maneuver faster. And what else can we say? Well, it has a low ammo capacity, only 44 rounds. That's not a huge amount. It has poor side armor, which is how I think he managed to get wiped out, unfortunately, in this one. And also has bad dispersion. You saw that he was having difficulty trying to get some of the shots on target on some of the enemy, especially I think that Hetzer. Well, we're down to 3-all now. And yes, he's still hiding in there. Wolverine's going up the side of the map. If there are the AT2 and the 14TP on top of the hill, then he might be able to move, and so might the StuG if those guys try to take out the Wolverine. Wolverine's going all the way around. decided it's actually easier to get close to the actual castle itself, because once you're up against the castle walls, you've got less chance of the enemy being able to shoot you from above. And the 14 TP's been spotted, and he's out in the open. But we still don't know where the AT2 is. Well, the AMX has also found out where the AT2 is. He's over on the west side of the map. And he's not the only one over there. Hetz is over there too. And that may be the undoing of the enemy, because if the Wolverine finds and kills the 14 TP, and he has found him, and he's killed him, and now the enemy is kind of trapped on the west side of the map. They can't get back to their cap without having to encounter the Wolverine first. So what's the StuG going to do? Is he going to go over there and drive the enemy towards the guns? He's acting like the beaters. They're going to walk in front of the enemy and then drive the enemy backwards onto the gun that's waiting for them. I think it's actually going the other way around. I think the AT2 is heading south because they know that the Wolverine's up there. Mind you, we do know that that Hetzer's got the 105mm derp gun, because obviously that is how he actually died. It was a dirt brown, went through the side of the vehicle and took him out. And the Hetzer's now starting to take damage. In fact, the Wolverine's pulverizing him. Well done, Wolverine. Hasn't suffered a loss of hit points yet, and there's only one enemy remaining. The Wolverine has 5 kills. Now he's trying to side scrape on the AT2. There he is. Okay, now he's side on to you. Just go for it. Just start pumping those rounds in. And he goes down to the Wolverine, and that's the Top Gun. Well, it's a pity that he actually got taken out fairly early on in the game. But even though he did so much damage at the start of the game with that rapid fire rate and, of course, that accurate gun. That BertholomaeusRexodus picked up an ace tanker in that game. He also managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. Bruiser for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 9. He also got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And he got a Confederate as well, for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate was 7,984, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Yes, there he is. Highest damage, 2,653 hit points. Second highest damage in the game turned out to be the AMX-13FL11 on the enemy team with 1,522. And the third highest damage was that Hetzer. There's the guy who killed him. He got 1,395 hit points of damage. The Wolverine, who ended up with the Top Gun, he got 1,374 in 4th place. When it came to kills, though, it was the Wolverine who came out on top. 6 kills to him, Top Gun. Second highest damage was, or number of kills, is the Hetzer, the one that actually did kill BertholomaeusRexodus. He got 4 kills, and 2 kills went to BertholomaeusRexodus, the StuG III, and also to the AT2 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yes, he got that one. So he's got the top in 2 columns. 1,026. He's the only player to get over 1,000 base in the game. And with second place going to the Wolverine, who got the Top Gun, 752 to him. And in third place, well, it's that AMX-13FL11 with 6. Oh, it's not. Sorry, I'm wrong. It's the StuG III, which was actually 646. So I was wrong. He just beat the by 11 points, beat the 1311. Okay, so let's have a look at detail. 27 shots fired, so he did use a fair amount of his ammunition. Although, that said, he still had 17 rounds left at the end of the game. 21 direct hits on the enemy, 20 penetration, so he didn't get that much dispersion, if you think about it, because he did get, 6 rounds didn't hit target. But of the rounds that did hit the target, most of them did pen, and that was down to the fact that he was using the APCR. 2,653, of which 1,689 were at more than 300 meters. 2 hits received. One was penetration. That was the one that killed him. It was a dirt gun, so it wiped him out. And 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. Yes, he did take a hit, which actually did a fair amount of damage. 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 335 hit points of damage assistance. That's the spotting. On a premium count, he actually suffered the loss of 18,826. Most of that down to the ammunition. Again, the fact that he used APCR throughout. And he also had consumables. 18,826 is nothing really. And 7,695 experience points because he got a mission completion in there as well. So a very creditable win for BertholomaeusRexodus, and you can see why he's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of the gun. It is a very, very, very useful tank destroyer to play, albeit you have to get used to that 15 degrees either side, the 30-degree arc. So it really does help to practice with this thing and try and place yourself in a position where the enemy can't see you, otherwise you take damage. And I think actually his problem was that a T6 medium that got too close to him early on in the game. But after that, it was the Hetzer. He couldn't see the Hetzer at the moment that he was wiped out. So that guy got to dial in very thoroughly and wipe him out from a long range away. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.